Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Arnav Naik, and I'm going to take you back to history class. Now, who likes comedy? Well, if you like comedy, you will love my persona. My persona has a funny mustache, a cane, a hat, and outlandish boots. When people come to the cinemas to watch him, they forget their worries in an instant. At the end of his show, people are in stitches. Or as us Gen X kids would say, R-O-F-L. Now who am I? The one and only, Charlie Chaplin! Now let's start from the beginning of his birth, family, and childhood. Sir Charles Spencer Charlie Chaplin was an English comedian, film actor, director, and producer. He immortalized the character of the Little Tramp and is considered an iconic figure in the history of films. He was born on April 16, 1889, in an impoverished neighborhood in London. At a very young age, his mother was admitted to a mental asylum. Plus, his father had abandoned him. All in all, Chaplin had a very depressing childhood. Now moving on, let's look at his education. Charlie didn't have much of a formal education. By the time he was 13, he had already dropped out of school. Now let's walk to his youth life. At age 14, Charlie had gained a fond interest for acting and got his first role as page boy in Sherlock Holmes. He was praised for his comedic acting. Soon, Charlie became a household name as a stage actor and a comedian. Now, what he's most famous for, his work! Charlie joined Keystone Studios at the young age of 24. Audiences loved his comical antics, and his film career took off due to his trademark persona of the Little Tramp. He moved to America and became a very successful movie producer. His most popular film was The Gold Rush, probably because he ate his own shoe in the movie. When he moved to America, Americans loved his movies, and he gave one blockbuster after the other. Some of his notable movies are The Great Dictator, The Modern Times, and The City Lights. And as Charlie would always say, a day without laughter is a day wasted. End quote. Now let's take a peek at his family life of his marriage and children. Charlie had several marriages. Do you know how many children Charlie had? No? Well, neither did Charlie. He had 11 children. Now, everybody makes mistakes. Charlie made his fair share of mistakes too. For starters, he got married. It's one thing to make a mistake, but it's a whole other thing to repeat them. Charlie got married 3 more times. On a serious note, Charlie didn't have a stable family and was mired in divorces and paternity suits. And with mistakes comes criticisms. People thought Charlie's political beliefs got the better of him, and this interfered with his filmmaking. For instance, in the movie The Great Dictator, critics of that time claimed that he went overboard with his dislike for Nazis and fascism. Now, let's look at some of Charlie's rejections. As a producer, Charlie tried to sell his films to studios. However, studio executives rejected them, claiming they were too obscure for audiences to understand. At the height of his career, many Americans thought Charlie's views were too liberal. Some even thought Charlie was a communist. Eventually, the fear and hatred for Charlie got so bad that the FBI decided to revoke Charlie's visa to enter America. Deeply hurt by this rejection, Charlie decided not to return to America and decided to settle in Switzerland. Oh, what a loss for America. And as Charlie would say in sad times, I like walking in the rain, so no one can see me cry. And
Wow.
Now, some of Charlie's outstanding achievements. Charlie has made a total of 10 films. The Great Dictator was his first talking film. He was knighted by Queen Elizabeth. And he has numerous awards for films and actings. And hand in hand with outstanding achievements goes awards. Charlie had the best actor in the movie Circus. Best music soundtrack in Limelight. And best foreign movie in Monsieur Verdot. And best artistic film in Woman of Paris. And now why did I choose Charlie Chaplin as my persona? When he first started, the world was in a sad and fearful place. But Charlie would weave a blanket of love and compassion around the people, comforting them. But are things any different now, I ask you? I mean, look around you. When you turn on the news, it's always something negative. People gunning down kids in schools. Terrorists killing millions because people don't subscribe to their twisted ideologies. Look at Paris in its burning state, or California. Disease killing millions. And not to mention class wars and caste wars. Now, more than ever, the world is in dire need of a little love, a little laughter, and the richness of the tramp. And that's why I chose Charlie Chaplin. Now how did confidence class help me? Well, before the amazing gift of Miss Vidhi came along, I was a nervous and shy ball. But Miss Vidhi helped me unwind that ball of nervousness and fear and helped me talk loud and proud. I would like to thank the judge, Miss Rubin, for coming out here and judging this event. My parents always told me not to judge people. I'm just kidding. I would like to thank Miss Vidhi.
Oh my God.
Miss Vidhi, the human brain is an amazing thing. It starts working the moment you're born and does not stop till you stand up to give a speech. But you taught me that this is not necessarily true. Thank you. And since I couldn't find an Uber taxi today, I would like to thank my parents for driving me here.
Oh my God.
No, seriously, I would like to thank my parents for encouraging me throughout this speech process. I would like to thank my mentor, Drew, for helping me deliver this speech in the best effective way possible. And last but not least, I would like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy Saturdays and listening to my speech. Thank you.
Whoa.
I've seen many of Charlie's films, and my favorite one is The Great Dictator. And here's why. When the movie was released, the Nazis were inflicting horrible things upon the Jewish people. And the whole world was turning their backs on this. But Charlie would highlight this fact and show the world what was really happening in Germany. Thank you.
And then you talked about how easy was revolt because people thought he was a communist and well, can you kind of give some examples as to what he did to make people think that he was a communist?
So in the movie The Great Dictator, Charlie imitated Hitler and made fun of him. And critics of that time were different from now and thought that Charlie was a communist. Thank you.
We can take one question from the audience. Please go ahead.
Why did you say getting married is a mistake?
Hey, that is not an age-appropriate question.
Lots of arguments.
Lots of argument, huh?
That's right.
He's learning from his parents.
Go ahead.
Do you like comedy?
Yes.
A round of applause.
चला हेल्प करा लगा